What's happening, friends? Welcome back to the show. Merry Christmas. We released a podcast on Christmas Day. And for that, I want to say if you are finding the time during this busy season to listen to me waffle on, well, thank you very much. I hope I bring you some peace and clarity, and I hope you're having a wonderful festive season. Today, I know that these days can be crazy between Christmas and the New Year, so I'm going to keep this fun, actionable, and pretty to the point with some of my 25 of my personal top tips for making 25 your best year yet. And of course, we're playing on the theme of 25 because we released this on the 25th of December. Merry Christmas. So let's celebrate the gift of health and get into some of my top tips. And of course, I'm starting in the realm of mindset because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't get out of your own way with mindset, you are going to remain stuck forever. So number one, discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You must become the disciplined person. That's because motivation is doing what you want to do when you want to do it, which is a wonderful thing. But what happens when you don't want to do it? Well, that's where discipline enters the fray. You must become the kind of person that does what they know they need to do, even when they don't want to do it. So I would say that motivation is a state, a feeling, and discipline is a trait. And states are fragile, they move in the wind and the changing temperatures of life, but traits are firm, and you want something that is solid, and discipline will carry you further than motivation ever will. So this year, you must become the disciplined person. Number two, I would highly recommend developing an introspective practice. 2025 is the year to dive into yourself. Now, what this looks like can vary wildly for people. It could be meditation, it could be journaling, it could be prayer, it could be self examination, it could even be investing and hiring a therapist. Whatever it is, make this year the one where you get very intentional about investigating yourself, paying attention to your internal chatter, working through who you are, ultimately breaking the habit of being yourself so you can become who you're supposed to be. Number three, become an optimist. Yes, I believe the world belongs to optimists. And it's easy to be pessimistic in a world full of 24/7 doom and gloom news media. Pessimism is like a safety blanket that people wear to protect them from going all in or being hopeful because it often feels like the sky is falling. But we have to be somewhat delusional about even having a future anyway. Doesn't it make sense to be optimistically delusional about the future, to be a glass half full kind of person that sees the world a little bit more hopeful? I think so, and I think that the world belongs to optimists. And if anything else, pessimists get to be right, but optimists get to be happy. And I would want 2025 to be your happiest year yet. So work on turning that frown upside down, the internal one at least, and start to look at things through a more optimistic lens this year. Number four, adopt the imperfectionist mindset. Notice I did not say become a perfectionist, but adopt this philosophy of imperfectionism. I love this frame from Oliver Berkman that I learned earlier this year. Basically, nobody is perfect, but if you falter in this trap of perfectionism, you will lament, you will wait too long, you won't do the thing, it won't feel like the right time, or anything that you produce will never feel good enough because you're holding yourself to these ungodly, unrealistic, inhumane standards. Embracing your imperfectionism is actually a freeing philosophy of life to realize it's never going to be good enough. It's never going to feel like the right time, but done is better than perfect. And action creates more clarity than thinking about a thing will ever do. So go do the thing and do it in a messy way. Allow messy action to take the place of perfectionism because perfect never gets done. Messy action can. And number five, choose some adversity this year. I hope that this next year and what you're going through right now is not a life full of unchosen adversity. That life isn't throwing you curveballs left, right, and center, but it might be because this is the human experience. And in times when it is not, we should shore ourselves up for times when life does throw the curveballs by choosing some adversity. And this can be so many things. Some of the things we've almost touched on, meditating and being silent with yourself can be a form of choosing adversity because so few people feel comfortable doing so. It could be ice baths, it could be signing up for something fitness related or really working on your physical strength. I don't know what it is, but I would implore you to become the kind of person that chooses adversity so that when unchosen adversity finds you in life, which inevitably at some point it will, that you can stand firm in that and say, I know who I am, I know what I'm made of, and I can get through this. I think that's a much more hopeful, optimistic, and idealist version than having the unchosen adversity find you and crumbling under the pressure of that. So now moving gears from the mindset into the food realm. My sixth rule for an optimal 2025 is prioritize protein. I know you've probably heard this one before too, but there's a reason there is magic in protein. Protein is the cheat code of diets, essentially. The more protein you eat, the leaner you'll probably end up becoming, the more satiated and satisfied from meals that you will feel, the less room in your diet for junk there will be, and you're going to be able to feast on amazing animal-based protein sources, mostly from ruminant animals, grass-fed and finished ground meats, lamb, bison. Get out hunting if you can and find some wild game, but prioritize protein. Make that the forefront of all the plates that you build. Ideally, getting somewhere like a gram per pound of your ideal body weight will set you up for success dietarily this year. Number 7, eat more collagen. Collagen is the good stuff. The gelatinous amino acids, glycine and proline that you can find on the chewy bits, gnawing on the bones, in the marrow, or bone broth. But it is a literal anti-aging foundational food. When we eat a lot of protein, which I just told you to do, that's an amino acid that's very high called methionine. When we balance that with glycine and proline, we actually see these longevity effects take place that can enhance lifespan. So don't just crush muscle meat, crush muscle meat, and also sip on that broth. I'll go for more fatty cuts of meat that have a lot of that connective tissue in, like chuck roast, but get more collagen this year. And number 8, eat nose to tail. That's a part of that philosophy. Eating the whole animal includes the chewy bits, but nose to tail in particular here means consume more organs this year and diversify a little bit. Maybe you're already on the liver train. Choo, let's go. What about some heart? What about some kidney? What about some testicle? What about some brain? What about some of the really cool stuff that we can get if we eat a truly nose to tail diet? And if you can't find it because your butcher doesn't stock it or you're not sure about the sourcing and the quality, well, that's where Heart and Soil comes in. So feel free to check out some of our really cool blends. Some of my favorites from this past year that I've been loving. Whole package, obviously, for the guys, the testicle and the testosterone and the libido support I really enjoy. Mood, Memory, and Brain was one that I added in kind of recently, and I've been loving it. I take it before bed, and it's given me the craziest dreams in the best way, because I know that means I'm getting into rapid eye movement sleep, deep restorative dream sleep. So eat more nose to tail. Number 9, a personal favorite of mine, set yourself up for success, would you? By batch cooking or bulk cooking. So when I cook anything, I cook like I'm feeding the small army. The reason I'm doing that is because I kind of am. I eat like 3 people. I have 2 hungry children and a wife with a very healthy appetite too. So I'm feeding my small army, but more than anything else, I want to have leftovers. I don't want to be thinking every single meal, every single day. That's 21 meals if we're eating 3 square meals a day, what I'm going to cook. I want to be able to cook big once and know that I'm set for the next 4, 5, maybe even 6 meals. Last night, as of recording this, I made a huge stew in the Instant Pot. That'll feed us for at least a couple of days for lunch, dinner. I can even have that for breakfast because if you throw an egg on top of anything, it's basically breakfast. When I cook up steaks, I'm cooking up 4, 5, or 6, even though my family and I will eat 2 or 3. So there's 3 that I can slice and have leftovers. Start being a bit more wise with your time. If you're going to cook, make a mess and create some dishes. Double it up, triple it up. Use freezer meals. Get creative and start bulking it up so it makes it easier for you. And last one in the food realm, number 10, is celebrate those homemade wins. I think if there was one dietary razor that cuts through most of the rest, it's just cook all your food at home. Like try just cooking all of your food at home. or 90% of your food at home. Make things from scratch with real animal based ingredients and watch how your health transforms. You can take that up a notch if you'd like to and focus on hyperlocalism. Only cook what you can find in season at your farmer's market. And you could get as creative with this as you want. But one of the things that derails most people's health goals is that they eat out too much. And we know what happens when you eat out. Seed oils, artificial crap, the stuff that sneaks into your food that you didn't intend, or just no choices. So you end up eating food that doesn't support your goals. If you cook at least 80% of your food at home from scratch, you are going to be healthier than 90% of the population. And I would even set yourself a little challenge. Maybe it's a week or a month. Like, don't eat anything that you didn't create at home and see what that does to your health. Okay, now we're moving into the movement realm. Number 11, lift weights. Come on. If you're not lifting weights, this is the year that you start picking up the barbells or swinging the kettlebells or climbing trees or lifting your body, which is a weight. This body of mine, 200 pounds, that's a heavy weight. I can do push-ups and pull-ups and handstand walks and lunges and squats. But this is the year where you lift weights to build some muscle. Muscle is the organ of longevity. It's a glucose sink, so it gives your body somewhere to put the carbohydrates that you eat into the muscle instead of onto the fat and causing advanced glycated end products with elevated blood sugar. It's going to protect your skeleton. And let's be honest, it makes you feel good and look good. Everybody looks and feels a little bit better when they're carrying a little more muscle, which usually means a little less fat, which usually means a lot more confidence. So this is the year that you lift weights. 12. This also should be the year that you actually sprint. Ideally, like on your two legs, getting after it. And if not, pull out a rowing machine, get on a bike, but do something that really takes you to that threshold of maximum output, like you are running for your life. It's so rejuvenating. It helps your hormonal profile. It gives you human growth hormone pulses after the workout. It keeps your post-workout elevation of fat oxidation very, very high. So it's really good for leaning out and getting strong and looking and feeling athletic. Doesn't always have to be sprinting, and it doesn't need to be that common. We're talking like once a week, maybe 4 times a month, maybe 3, 2, but every now and then really turn it up. Start slow with this one, but let's start thinking about how you go for it and sprint in 2025. 13, get your NEAT up. NEAT up 24/7 all the time. NEAT means non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, move more. This is, if you ever see energy expenditure as a pie, you'll see that NEAT represents a significant portion of the pie. Way more than your movement and your thermic effect of feeding slice of the pie. It's like 20 to 25%. And this is things like how many steps you get in a day. But it's other behaviors, not just having a step goal. It's things like parking the furthest away from the grocery store. It's taking the steps instead of the elevator. It's when you're in the airport, instead of sitting in the airport lounge, like, no, I've got 45 minutes to my flight. Why don't I just move around a little bit? That's going to contribute over the long term to healthy body weight levels, healthy blood sugar, healthy digestion. Any chance you can get to move a little bit more in that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the NEAT realm, is going to be good because it's not stressful. It's really healing and rejuvenating. So get your NEAT up. Number 14, I would encourage you to develop a mobility practice. Whether you sign up for yoga, you do Pilates, you actually do some focused mobility training, you get down on the floor and you stretch before bed. This is the year that you get bendy. Be bendy, do not break. Be supple, be like a supple leopard. And just develop that very healthy and longevity promoting aspect. This is about a body that moves good for the long haul. We don't just want to hit the weights and build all of that muscle and then move like crap and be all stiff. We want to be that supple leopard. So develop a mobility practice. I do animal flow and FRC, which is functional range conditioning. Number 15, I would say sign up for a challenge or event this year. It kind of pairs nicely with the choose adversity, but I would say sign up for something you don't feel ready for. It might be a 5K, it might be a marathon, it might be anything else. It might be signing up for the gym, because being in a community workout environment is so healthy. Like, I signed up for CrossFit almost 2 years ago now. I absolutely fell in love with it, and it ticks many of those boxes that I just talked about. But sign up for something, put some skin in the game this year. Do something crazy. Sign up for a high rock. Start with the CrossFit. Like, sign up for jujitsu. sign up for an ultra. I don't know what it is, but challenge yourself, put yourself on the line a little bit and see what it brings out of you. Okay, now we're moving into the sleep, screen, stress, lifestyle kind of stuff. 16, fix your light diet. The more I learn about light diet, as per our episode with Dr. Alexis Cowan, the more I learn about the damage and harms of excess blue light and the healing nature of the sun. And what I've got in front of me over here, incandescent light bulbs ahead now, which I switched out from the LEDs. I have a red light panel over here. These things really matter. We know that our food matters. We know if we eat quality food versus junk food, we thrive. Let's start applying that frame to light. Junk light, junky inputs means junk outputs. Your cells are going to starve. Your cells are not going to have that electron transport chain moving as smoothly as they could if you're getting outside often, fixing your light diet. And internally, that means like blue lights at night, get them out, candle lights, blue light blockers, red light devices. And obviously, brings me to my next point, 17. Spend at least 1 hour outside a day, every day this year, if you can. Yes, even in the winter. Yes, even if it's cold right now. You owe it to your health to be getting outside. I would say that is a minimum requirement for optimal health. I would think you want to go far beyond that if you can and spend as much time as humanly possible outside. But a lot of people, especially in the winter, they hide inside, and I would challenge you to spend at least 1 hour per day outside every day. If it's minus 20 outside, then break it up into 5-minute chunks and just do it. Get outside. Bonus points for number 18, which is get grounded. You are essentially like a plant with feelings, and you need water, sunlight, a good environment, and you need to be grounded. You need to be connected to the earth and picking up those electrons, picking up the energy that literally reduces inflammation and increases the cellular metabolism and your ATP energy rejuvenation through the cells and the electron transport chain at the level of the mitochondria. Grounding is free, it's available, it helps you get outside, it stacks all these other healthy things on top of it, but start plugging yourself into the earth at least once a day, as much as possible. Get yourself grounded. Bonus points, you can think about grounding mats. I'm standing on one right now, grounding sheets that you can sleep on. All of these things can be really beneficial and low-hanging fruit ways for you to get grounded quicker and more often. Number 19, I would say find a community. I got a spoiler alert or a teaser for you, I guess, or an invitation. In January, I'll be heading up Animal Base 30, which is a challenge from Heart and Soil, and I would love to see you in that. It's 30 days to Animal Base. We're going to be covering everything, AB 101, all the way through mindset, lifestyle, you name it, inside of a community. But the community is really the key. I mentioned like joining a CrossFit gym or a jiu-jitsu gym, just being around people. You know, there's that old cliche, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Like, we want to go far and fast, maybe sometimes too, but we want to do this for the long haul. And that lone wolf archetype is done, right? Collaboration beats competition. Be around like-minded individuals. I believe that community equals immunity. Immunity from so much of the stuff that we suffer from today. Depression, anxiety, feelings of loneliness and listlessness. Put yourselves around the kind of people that you want to be. Absorb the values of your environment. Find healthy communities and insert yourself into them. The beauty of that is, if you can't do that in person, you can do that online with things like AB30, with things like forums, whatever it is. But if you're not in a community right now, find one ASAP and get involved. Number 20, work on your sleep routine. Make sleep sacred. Sleep is where you do all of the good stuff, all of the recovery. Let's say you're hitting the gym, you're doing all this cool stuff, you're breaking your body down, and you rebuild it when you sleep. So if you don't sleep well, not only are you limiting the gains that you can make in the gym, the health of the repair jobs that go on at the level of the cells, clearing out damaged proteins in the brain. You know, your brain even shrinks while you sleep to clear out the beta amyloid plaques. It's where you take stuff in the short-term memory and you consolidate it to the long-term memory so you can do it again tomorrow. All of that, all of it is sleep. If you do not sleep well, you are shortening your lifespan, you're reducing your health, your vitality, and you're not maximizing the squeeze of all of this juice that you're putting into listening to podcasts like this and being a growth-minded person. So set bedtime, set wake-up time, try to keep it as consistent as you can throughout the year as much as possible. Things like sunlight before screen light, because you know that a good night of sleep starts with what you do in the morning. So don't wake up and immediately go to your phone. Get your bloody bum outside and look and join Sunrise Club and turn down the blue lights at night and read a book or connect with a partner instead, but make sleep sacred and get those sleep routines dialed. Okay, last five, we're into the environmental range. I'm thinking like lifestyle and stuff now. So first one, if you can, sauna more. If you can get in a sauna, you're going to do yourself a heck of a lot of favors because we live in a very polluted world. Paul Chek used to say the best solution for pollution is dilution. And he would talk about the importance of hydration and using one of those detox pathways, which is urination, to get the bad stuff out. You know, one of the other best, probably the best way to detox is to sweat. And saunas do this at a very deep cellular level. We actually have very good science that is probably one of the only ways to get rid of deep rooted things in our body that we don't want there. Things like heavy metals, things like pesticides, etc. So if you can join a gym that has a sauna, if you can make this one of your health investments for 2025, if you can, you're going to have to hit the gym a little bit more and get sweaty and get really warm and work that out. But if you can, when we live in a world where daily we are retoxing, because this is just the poison world we live in, we must be focusing heavily on detoxing. So get in the sauna, make sure you're having at least one bowel movement a day that's clean. Make sure you are hydrated with good, clean water. Number two, continuing on the detox theme, get off the screens. Practice some really good screen time management. Most of us are sucking way too much of our life and energy into the black mirror that is our phones. We are watching life vicariously through other people, the cherry-picked highlight reel of everybody else's life. Meanwhile, we suffer from the front row shit show of our own life. We watch everybody else's highlights while experiencing all of our own neuroses up close. It's creating an awful lot of distraction. I believe it's contributing rapidly to the rising rates of anxiety and depression, and just leaving you feeling the like, what's so special about my life? Because all you're seeing is people doing amazing things, and that's not natural at all. I think it's okay to have. I think it's a tool that connects people. I think if you use it as the tool that it can be, it's wonderful. But if it's using you, then you have become the tool, and you have to take back some of your focus. You can't be spending 5-6 hours a day in the scroll hole. And I know you are. If you go look at your screen time right now, you'll be appalled because you start to do the numbers on that. What does that mean a week? What does that mean a month? What does that mean a year? And you see the hundreds, if not thousands of hours lost just looking at stupid stuff online that you could be investing in your health or books or connection with a loved one or your kids or something. Get off the screens or practice some kind of sensible management. Leave it in different rooms, get it out of the bedroom, download apps. I think an app called Opal helps with screen time management, things like that. But enough of that. Number 23, switch out your cookware. It's a switch that I made this last year, massively beneficial. We think about food so much. We think about water. We think about getting in the sauna, and then we cook in nasty Teflon pans, or we cook in greenwashed pans that tell you that they're PFA free. But when you look into it, they've just used that as a trendy term and bait and switched you another chemical in the process. The best things that you can use by far are stainless steel. There are some certified completely toxin free pans that you can get. You're going to pay top dollar for them, but they are an investment in your health because you do not want that nasty stuff leaching into your food, which you are then going to hold on to, which you are then going to suffer the ill consequences of. So think about your cookware all the way from what you fry in to what you store your food in. Plastic Tupperwares and things like that, get them out. Buy glass Pyrexes. No plastic lids. Don't microwave your food in plastic. Don't put plastic in the dishwasher. You get the drill. Number 24, we talked about it a little bit. Filter your water. The municipal water supply is nasty work. You can actually go on the government websites and look at what is reported in water, and you will never want to drink it again. But you don't just drink your water. Your skin drinks your water when you shower in it and you bathe in it. So a big upgrade that I made this year was moving to a whole house home filtration system that balances the best of both worlds. It's carbon and it's reverse osmosis and it's remineralized and it's great. And I got that on finance, and it's actually very, very reasonable to do so. But anything is better than just drinking the water out of the tap, whether that's a basic countertop Brita all the way to something like a Berkey to an under the sink reverse osmosis. But you must be thinking about filtering your water. because we are largely a water body inside. Water is conductive. It helps us, again, with that electron transport chain, the level of hydration at a cellular level, also our skin, our recovery. We want to be really thinking about quality water. Definitely no plastic bottles. If you're getting something like Mountain Valley, make sure it's in glass, and really clean up your water. And last but not least, make the switch to non-toxic bodywear. We're thinking lotions, soaps, and even clothes. I'm wearing my Nads underwear right now. I'm wearing this Heart and Soil Heart and Soil shirt, which is 100% cotton. So I've got cotton undies on. I got a cotton shirt on. Now, when I think about anything that I'm buying, whether it's for my wife as a Christmas gift, for example, or my kids, we're looking for cotton. We're looking for these natural materials like organic cotton, organic hemp, linen, wool, silk, the things that nature provides, not polyester, which is basically recycled plastic bottles put on your skin. When I'm thinking about tallow face lotion from the Tallow Twins, or a lard-based lotion from Farrow Skin, these give you A, D, E, and K, the fat-soluble vitamins that your body knows how to use, and it heals the skin. And it doesn't give you those nasty chemicals that can be endocrine disrupting and cause all kinds of issues. When we're thinking about smelly things that we shower with, we go for a goat milk soap that's scented with essential oils instead of some commercially greenwash nonsense off the supermarket shelf. Again, the toxic load on our bodies today is really, really high. We have to be sensible about making the switches that we can make. Look at that, I'm 25 minutes in. There's my top 25 things that you can do to make this holiday season and the rest of your life, and especially your 2025, the healthiest one yet. That's why you're here, right? That's what I want for you. I believe that health is our greatest gift, that your birthright is radical health, the healthiest you've ever been, regardless of where you started, regardless of where you're at right now. I guarantee that if you apply yourself to this next 365 days, you can become the healthiest version that you've ever been. And because it's Christmas and I'm feeling jolly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Radical Health Radio. We're having a heck of a lot of fun here, and we are just getting started. If you want to give me a Christmas gift, share this episode with a loved one, share it with your friends, or just tell people when you meet them, hey, you should check out this show. That guy's kind of cool, and he wants to help you, and I hope that you want to help yourself, and that's why you're here. So let's keep doing it together. You and I are both in this fight together. This is how we reclaim our collective birthright to radical health, and we become a part of this healthy rebellion. We'll see you next time, friends. Actually, I'll see you next year. Peace. Hey, before you go anywhere, listen up. I've got a special announcement. Mark your calendars for this one. November 22nd, Heart and Soil is dropping a new documentary called Fed a Lie. This is going to be the documentary on seed oils. The end. The nail in the coffin. Expect to hear from experts like Dr. Paul Saladino, Nina Teicholz, Dr. Chris Kenobi, even superstars like Bethany Hamilton, as we gathered the big dogs to put an end to the seed oil madness. If you want to check that out, go to Heart and Soil's YouTube, subscribe, and go to fedalie.film. Plug in your details, and we will make sure you get the link as soon as that goes live so you can spread it far and wide. This will be an incredible conversation starter at the family table over the holidays, and it will be you helping us to spread this message of radical health and be a part of the healthy revolution. And as always, thank you for being here. If you like the show, please like it, subscribe it, and share it. Help us to spread this message of radical health. And we'll see you next week. Big love.